Good afternoon, everybody. It's Charlie here at Partickhill Station. Welcome back. It's been pretty busy around here trying to clear the tracks from all the snow that we had. And woke up this morning and there was more snow there. May have to get the snowblower back out again. And pretty frustrating. I did a couple of the neighbours' driveway because I'm the only one that's got the snowblower. But I ran out of gas and I wasn't able to finish the task. So eventually I got to it and everything worked out, and then we got more snow last night. But that's what happens, you know, a couple of times a year. We get blasted, and this was, it's like 12, 18 inches, 2 feet, just depends where you were. And with it blowing, the walkway up to the front door, there's more than 2 feet of snow there, and I just haven't gotten around to clearing it. I might get there today. Anyway, a few things going on. I've got a diesel pulling some fish vans and a Spitfire that you might have seen before. And one of the nicest pieces that I have is the Scotrail West Highland Railway green and cream coaches. These are Lima Mk1s, and let's just see here. And I picked him up years ago from a guy that was selling off his stuff, and he'd actually repainted those and added passengers and put the numbering on, and there's an LED light at the rear of the brake van, but I'm missing a Lima coupling, so I've got to get that fixed, and then I can switch it around. It's being pulled by a Black 5, of course, because traditionally that was a loco that took that train from Fort William to the Kyle of Lochalsh, or Mallaig, or Mallig, as they would say locally. The train would start out in Glasgow's Queen Street, and still does, and you can take it directly to Fort William, and then you can pick up another train that will take you to the Kyle of Lochalsh, or you can go to Mallig. Beautiful part of the country, and I'm just going to show you something here. This is what you see as you cross over the Glenfenin Viaduct, and this is taken from up there on the viaduct. Spectacular sight, and the tower that you see there at the head of the loch, you can climb up there. It's a bit of a climb, tiny little stairway and a hole at the top to get out of, and you can see all the way down the loch. Spectacular view. If you're ever up there, you should make a point of trying to get on that train. Book in advance, of course, because it's always kind of high demand. So, there's a couple of things I want to talk about, but here's one. That's the stems from grapes. So you can buy a bag of grapes, eat them, and then save these. Let them dry out, and then cover them with flock. And I'll probably do this one as an example. And that make a nice and different tree. I mean, you can cut it wherever you want to suit yourself. And of course, that's free. That's the nice thing about it. So the other thing is when you're out walking through the woods or whatever, look for this type of stuff. I mean, that's spectacular. That would look great on any railway. Or you can just leave it by the side of the embankment where it may have fallen off. And you can paint it up as well as whatever way you'd like. Oh, Joshua W56, thanks for coming by to Partickhill Station. Welcome. And Medway Peninsula, how are you? I think I saw one of your videos last night. I was browsing to see what was happening after labouring out there in the driveway. And Timber Surf, how are you? What are you modelling these days? And Digger Evans, but on mute as I'm using the phone. Good to see you in the Railway Modelers. Yeah, good to have you here. Of course, Digger. Digger saying hi to everybody else. As is Medway Peninsula. And said the Scotsman, yeah, right. Yeah. So I picked up these long stick cotton cleaners. Hello, Clive. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I survived the snow. Anyway, these are excellent for getting into places that are not easy to reach. And these are actually from Realistic, which is there's an electronics store here. And I can't remember where I got these. I may have found them at a hobby store or a show. But yeah, those are excellent. Now I'm just going to move one of these phones. See which one's working or not working. Okay, just bear with me for a second here. As usual, I went through all of this earlier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move that and bring it over here and do this. So if 00 Bill is watching in the background, this is for you. So here we have the Aurora. Now, this was working, as I'd said, but there's a couple of questions that I have here that you might not have really touched on when you did the breakdown and repair. So when you remove the top, that's the arrangement. So my question is, does this semicircle end here go at the front, like so? And that one there, the middle one, I believe, is the one that controls whether it's picking up from the catenary or from the track. Now, having said that, I'm guessing that this little, I'll put that down there, that little slider piece in there, yeah, I'm going to get something better to point with. That little slider piece there is meant to pick up that bent piece of copper, that pickup there, double entendre, as they say. So then you would see that when you put it together, that does in fact hook on there, and it connects better when you arrange it that way. Of course. Let's put this down for a second. I'm not sure what's going on here. Sorry about that. It keeps bobbing in and out. So I'm not sure how much of that you've got, but I think you've got my questions. And I hope you're hearing me okay. So the way I've positioned this clip is the way that I saw Bill put it in. You can see these three connectors, locators, whatever they are, and there's a dimple at that end. I'm not really sure. That seems to be there over that hole, and maybe that's the correct location for it. Okay, so we'll assume for the moment that that is correct. In the meantime, I'm going to remove the body. Now, as you see, there are no pickups in the rear bogie. And you can see, hopefully, that it's running. Now, I think Bill said something about, yeah, that it will do that if you put the battery on it, but it's not getting any power from the wheels. Now, that brings me to the other point that was one to raise with Bill, and that is, there is a copper piece that you pointed out on the one that you repaired. that is missing here. Now, I can only assume that when I took this apart and then put everything back in place, I think I must have forgotten about that piece or misplaced it. So it could be anywhere around here. I've begun the search, but my options would be if there's another local, I think maybe the class 37. I'm not sure, or maybe the E3000. I could borrow one, stick it on there, try it, and then that would solve my question. Anyway, we'll get to that, and if you're there, Bill. Oh yeah, you are there. Sorry, just hang on a second here. Yeah, Bill, I've put it in the exact way that you had left it. However, let's see. Yeah. So what I'll need to do is I'll search around and see if I can find one. I mean, it may be in a little bag that I've stuck in a drawer. It may be lying under some of this mess here. Or, I've got a few things that I need to order, and I might just do that and stick it in another order. Oh, John. Okay, John. So I'd like to hear your experience. Maybe you can share that one with us. So on another topic, or another example, the Eurostar. So it wasn't working very well, and as I demonstrated last time I had this out, I had these two wires coming from the rear bogie. Yeah, there. Now, I'm assuming that what I would do is I'd attach them here. I get a pointer here. So those wires are connected to the motor there, and conversely on the other side. So I just have to make sure I get these two. The red would be here and the black would be there, I am assuming. I'll have a look at the diagram that I may have hanging about. Now, I thought I was faced with the same situation where I'm going to have to order a new motor, but It is running. So I'm glad about that. That takes care of that. As I say, all I have to do is put these on and then we're all set. So that's a couple of items taken care of. Yeah, John, I know you're talking about the EM2. Oh, what happened there? See, that's the other thing. If you're not paying attention, got these off. Yeah, that always happens. Now, the other thing that's going on here is that track you notice how this slows down in there. Now, I'm not really sure why that is. I don't think, I need to see if you can see it. Right. It stopped here. It's still, the motor's still going, but it stopped. And it happens there you go. It gets enough power to keep moving. Now, I've checked all the connectors and everything seems to be okay there. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Anyway, let's take a look here. I'll just see who's... I'll get back to what Bill's saying there. Anyway, so just take a closer look here at the Lima Mk1s. Excuse me. Excuse me. Out in that cold yesterday. So normally I would have this pulled by the Glasgow Yeomanry, but it has a problem in the tender. The connection piece is broken off. And plus this is a more reliable a newer locomotive and performs really well. Anyway, I'm just hoping that you can see the detail of this. I mean, the guy did such an excellent job, and I was very, very lucky to be able to get them. Somebody I know said, "Oh, Charlie, this guy is selling his Scottish train. Would you be interested?" Well, of course I'm interested. And you see, he's even got passengers in there, which is a really nice touch. Did an excellent job with it. And very fortunate to have gotten these. Let's see what else is here. As long as let's see. As long as a bit of wire contacts the pickup and the brush clip. Now, I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Okay, maybe let's just get this one on here. Maybe you're suggesting that are you suggesting that I run a wire from here down to this brush here? I'm really not sure why that would be necessary, because you've got, well, there's an insulating pad or washer there, if you can see it. Right, there's an insulating washer, and with the missing piece, I guess that bridges over to here, applies a little bit of pressure on there, and the power goes down back in here. I'm assuming, just not 100% clear on that. Yeah, Bill, when I first started getting into it, I'd go to these model train shows, and I'd say to some of the guys that were there, "Oh, do you have any Scottish railways?" And the funny thing is, for the most part, these guys were all English. And of course, I think they were giving me a bit of a noise up, right? Anyway, I eventually cottoned on. But what I did find, at the same time I got these ones, I noticed that Harbour Hobbies had issued a set of those coaches. Now, I think at the time when I looked at them, they were pretty expensive. I think I paid, well, I know I didn't pay any more than $100 for those coaches. I know that. Guaranteed. For 6 hand-painted coaches, $100. That was a real steal. So from the brush clip to the uninsulated pickup. So let's go through from the brush clip. All right, let's see if I get this correctly. The magic of the internet. Okay. You say from the, let's get this. from the brush clip to the uninsulated pickup. From the brush clip to the uninsulated pickup. All right, so if I get you right, you're saying attach a wire here and take it down to the clip there. Right, from the brush clip to the uninsulated pickup, that one there. Yep, got it. Yeah, I think that's what you're saying. I hope so. I'll certainly, I'll give that a shot. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, I know that I had that piece and it did run. And it may have been that, you know, when I was communicating with Chams 123, John was giving me some of his expert advice. And it wasn't running well. This was shortly after I had taken it out of the box and, well, taken it out of a box or a drawer that had been sitting in. Anyway, he said to me, Charlie, you really need to change out those wheels. He said, you know, I do a service. I'll take the wheels, machine them, get them back to you. So I said, okay, great. You know, can you do that? So he actually did it with, he sent me the wheels without me having to send him the wheels, which was very kind of him. And I put them on and that worked a treat. And it could have been around about that time, you know, when I was having problems with it. Unless it just fell off, and I don't think it would have fallen off. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Putting a track under power and try touching a wire between the clip and pickup, and you'll see. Oh, very good. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll certainly do that. In fact, let's just see if I can do that now. Have an instant demo. Let's see if I can get this to work. Make sure I don't have anything crossing over here. And I've got a piece of wire here. Okay, so yeah, I need to come around a bit. There you go. Okay, so here goes nothing. So from that clip, Okay, let's see if I can get. Change it. Just bear with me while I change a couple of points. Try this out. Okay, so no. No, not having much luck on this. Okay, we'll have to maybe I'll break it down and try it again. There's Newland, how are you? Yeah, so unfortunately I didn't have any success, but I'll maybe try it after. Dinmore Junction, Model Railway, good afternoon or good evening. I guess it's good evening. Yeah, it'd be good evening for you. Anyway, welcome to Partickhill Station. So, yeah, I will try that for sure. Now, I'm going to show you something else here. I had prepared a little video for this, but it wasn't the right format, and I didn't have time to convert it, so on and so forth. Anyway, I call this Charlie's continuous failure of his shuttle. So you may have heard the story that I purchased what I believe to have been a shuttle PCB, similar to the one that Bill has, and Mark also. Mark's got a few of them on his club layouts. Anyway, it duly arrived, like 5 weeks later, whatever, and I looked at it and couldn't figure out how to connect it. What I had done in advance was to attach these diodes. But, I think they're too big, but that's not the point. I was chatting with Mark about it, and he said, "Oh no, Charlie, that's not a shuttle. That's a signal PCB, right?" Anyway, that's the one that was given away as a giveaway because I don't have any signals that operate, and didn't see the need for it. I thought it was a good idea that somebody have it who can use it. So then I get back on, at that time I had gotten back onto the guy at we_honest.cn, explained the situation and told them that I'd like to have the one that is actually for the shuttle. So he gave me a couple of connections, and I said, okay, I'll buy this. And I told the guy I was giving this away because he said, no, don't send it back to me because it costs too much. Anyway, I bought the one that he told me to buy, and there it's there, nice little unit. So I thought, okay, that's great. Now I can get my shuttle working. It'd be another distraction. And this here is a little power unit I got a couple of years ago, and it works. And I was using it to power the shuttle line. And then I thought, okay, well, I just have to connect this to it. But when I looked at it more closely, what you can see, yeah, that's a 4-pin connector. And that one there is 3-pin. And I don't think there's another way to do this, because that's the power in, and that's the power out to the track and to the on-off and direction. And then this one here is the power. So I don't see how I'm going to get this into that system. I guess I've got a couple of alternatives. I go back to the guy and say, okay, I need to buy this. I need to buy this other component. And that would take care of it, hopefully. Or I buy one from a location that that Mark and Bill had bought. Now, Bill, I don't know if you had put diodes on your track for the shuttle. I don't recall seeing that. Hello, Bernie. Hope all is well with you. No, you don't. Hey, listen, as I said to a cousin of mine that responded on Facebook, oh, Charlie, I love all the snow. And I responded, yeah, on a Christmas card. Because yeah, that's a very good point. Maybe you can let me know which one that was. DC Concepts or from Block Signaling? Well, I wish you all the best with that, Bernie, because I've got a scan coming up in the beginning of March. Anyway, so about the snow, yeah, it all looks great and wonderful and white and clean, and and it looks good, but part of the problem is you saw the big snowplow going by, and when it goes by, it shoves all that snow up onto the end of the driveway, as it barrels down the road. And it trails along everybody else's and deposits as it goes along. And it becomes very difficult. So even though that's a 24-inch snowblower that I've got, it was having trouble at the end of the driveway. Plus, I ran out of gas, and because I was doing the neighbourly thing, as I said, I was doing the other neighbours' driveways. I used to ski, and there's a couple of ski resorts an hour and a half north of here. And I used to ski, but I stopped that a long time ago. And all the highways were blocked. People were stranded for 5, 6, 7 hours on the highway because they'd made the mistake of trying to get to work in spite of the police and the radio stations, TV stations say, stay at home, don't go out, stay off the highways, stay off the roads. But I guess there could have been, and I know there were nurses, etc., trying to get to the hospital to their work. So it is nice to see, but there's a lot of problems that come along with it. I'm just going to change something here. Yeah. And as I said, we got a bit of snow last night, a couple of inches. So I'll need to go out and have a go at it with a snowblower. It shouldn't be too bad. Oh, so you're not paying attention, Charlie. Get this one back around. Yeah, I've got to do the old switcheroo here. Okay, let's see if we can get that back on track. Yeah, there we go. So, just to catch up, yeah, I guess many of us are getting to that point where things start wearing out. Um, my malaise started a number of years ago. uh, when they discovered I had a couple of blockages, they decided A, not to uh, put stents in, and B, not to do surgery because they said, well, you're relatively young and in good health, so we'll get you on the exercise program and diet and whatever. And then about 4 years ago, ended up with an enlarged prostate. So once again, I was pretty lucky because while they said, yeah, it's pretty big, Charlie, but there's no cancer there. So they did, they had a look around, if you know what I mean. And, so once again, I was very lucky. However, while they were doing, they did a full body scan. And in doing so, let's watch this go around here. Yeah. In doing so, they found cancer on one of the kidneys. So the surgeon said, I could see it, and it's encapsulated. And in his opinion, it was small and encapsulated, and it was at the tip of the kidney where the kidney connects to whatever else, right? And he said, I think I can get that out clean. And that's what he did. And that's 3 years ago. And no treatment was required other than usual prostate reduction medication, whatever. So, touch wood. I hope you're as lucky as me, Bernie. If you say that's lucky, right? Anyway, it doesn't hold me back. I do my thing, and that's it. Mm. Hi, Charlie. Is there a railway station near you? Yes. Um, I live north of Toronto. Uh, Basically, they call it a bedroom community of Toronto, and they have a GO service And this is a commuter train that runs north and south of the city, taking people into work. And if you look on my YouTube page, you'll see where I filmed one of them speeding through this railroad crossing, as they would say. And that's a 5-minute drive from me. But the big station, Union Station, is downtown, right downtown. And you can get the Trans-Canada train from Union Station, and it will take you all the way out west. You also have a GO service that runs from Windsor in the west all the way through to Quebec City. And then you can change in Quebec City and go further east. Yeah, that's true, and with their trains. Well, at least they took care of it, right? I guess that's the only positive thing. Yeah, no question. Hmm. Yeah, I've got another big one too. Uh, I was out in Vancouver working on a project, and something happened. I ended up in emergency. My gallbladder exploded. Not pleasant. Yeah, the old Codgers Club. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm glad I've got a heads up with, well, the the Eurostar. Um, that's a bonus if I've got that working. Uh, it's a simple fix, and that's good. The EM2, I'll try offline, see how I get on with that. Um, the other troubling one, of course, is the Pandolino. And I might end up having to bite the bullet on the Pandolino. And, somebody said to me, "Oh, Charlie, don't try and repair that yourself." Can't remember who it was that said that. Um, so the possibility is I package up the Pandolino, send it to Hornby and say, "Can you help me?" Uh, do you have any Canadian locomotives? Yeah, Bernie, I actually do. And they run better than many of my British ones. Well, there's one there, the Chessie system. I'm not sure what you would class that, but that's a tyco. Now I think tyco is at the bottom of the heap. I'm not sure, but loads of detail on this, and it's heavy. And then there's the Delaware and Hudson, and nicely detailed. It's got a fair weight on it, and this one will just crawl. Let's see if I'll stick it on here. Just bear with me. Yeah, it's on its way. It's quiet. It runs smooth. Let's just have a closer look at it. There you go, nice and slow, that one. Now, the noise that you're hearing in the background is the Prince William. I don't know if that means it needs oiled or that's just a noisy Lima. Pick something up here. Yeah, so that's a nice locomotive. Runs really well. And I'm not sure who the manufacturer is of this because I haven't taken it apart and there's nothing inscribed on the bottom. Now, I don't know how. You see how that one goes. Yeah, there's life in this. Yeah, probably needs a clean. And that one is, once again, not sure. Not sure who makes that one. And then this other CP rail. And this one was made in Hong Kong and it's very heavy. Yeah, I think that one requires a clean. But Um, just yeah, just and the diesel there I got as part of the Hornby Club membership thing. Uh, I've got a couple of locos from them. Like this was years ago when I first started into the hobby. Just trying to get a second a camera up working here. Two of them, wow. I just get a note from Tony Northeastern. Now, he's commenting on the bridge that I've been constructing. And I've got a little video I'll post the next day or two on its progress. And, he said he remembers this bridge. That's what introduced us, because I made a comment on his the bridge that he's got on his layout, and I thought, hey, I can do that. So I pulled out my old draftsman tools and drew it out, and I did it on mat board. Now there's a little bit of warpage caused by the glue. Right, that's another lesson that you learn when you use white glue. Don't try and do any construction with it. So, I'm just trying to get this other camera up and running. Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to go for whatever reason, which is a bit of a pain. Yeah, when you So this brings up the whole topic of Hornby, and I'm sure you've all got lots of opinions on Hornby more recently. I saw one of them get a posting from eBay. $800 or £800 doesn't really matter. It's just obscene. And somebody was asking the question: was this a good marketing ploy by Hornby, or was it a disaster? I just think it's obscene that it's a hobby, and they're obviously not trying to attract younger people by pushing that level of pricing for locomotives. Now, the one thing is, and as I say, I'm sure you've all got your opinions. When you're handling these locomotives, even some of the older ones that I have, you've got to be so careful, because all the little bits and pieces that are on there that can fall off, break off. And, at a distance on a model railway layout, whether it's here in my basement or out at a show somewhere, are you going to be able to say, that's an £800 loco there? That was so worth it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Just because I'm Scottish doesn't make me cheap. Frugal, but not cheap. Yeah, it's just, I don't get it. It's madness, as they would say. Or I said it was madness. Yeah, it's. I'm sure they've turned a lot of people off. Who can afford to buy those? I'm going to show you something that I've got. Now, yep, there you go. This is a Duchess of Battle. It's an old Hornby double O. I found it in a box at a show under the table. And the guy really didn't know where it was, so I don't know, offered him $30 or whatever for it, and he took it. Now, it's missing the valve gear, etc. But I got it working. And it's heavy, obviously reliable. Um, but you know, it does work. I cleaned the commutator. Excuse me. And you know, I guess if I threw on some rods and gearing, it would go okay. But it's got that third rail pickup, and that's another job that I don't think I want to get into. Excuse me. Yeah, well, excuse me. It's a captive audience, and they know that there'll be people out there want to buy it, whatever it is they come out with. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I ordered anything. Um, I don't know if that Black 5 may have been the last thing I ordered, but the Royal Train, I got that on eBay in bits and pieces. And the Prince William, you know, I may have got that from Hatton's. I just don't recall. But we've got 3 kids, and you know, they were into football, dancing, hockey, so on and so forth. And you know, the dancing, the 2 girls, uh, that was megabucks, just unbelievable. And so the hobby suffered basically as a result, because you know, as the kids are growing up, you want to keep them occupied, get them interested in something, and then we like to go on vacation. And in more recent years, been around the world, but we always went somewhere during school breaks, so you had to budget for everything, and trains weren't on the agenda. But you know, when I was having to travel uh, with work, you know, I'd be on expenses or an allowance, so I would always save some of it and buy something on eBay. Right, that's basically how I built the collection. Yeah, £80. Yeah, that's the problem. I heard someone mention, you know, if you're pre-ordering from the hobby shop, you know, that's an implication. You know, if what do? Do you give them a deposit? Do you pay the full amount? And then you say, no, I don't want it. I want my money back. Because Hornby up to price. Good evening, Alan. How are you? I'm sure you're busy in your workroom preparing something to take upstairs to the loft. Yeah, I don't see the problem in buying used, if you want to call them that, second hand, whatever. As long as the seller is honest, and even if he says it's a non-runner, as Bill demonstrates repeatedly, you can always get a non-runner to run. And as such, you should be able to get a non-runner for a reasonable price. If you're handy enough to take it apart and maybe do a little bit of repair. And I've learned over the years, watching Chams 123 and more recently Bill, what to look for and how to, and that way, I can keep things moving here. Or if I've got something in a drawer, it's been in the drawer for some time because I didn't have the know-how or the skill set to fix, I'll pull it out and have a go at it. Yeah, I often wondered, I used to go to a model railroad show because, even, here in Toronto, I didn't have any knowledge of there being a British model railway group. So I'd go to these model railroad shows and, the massive big layouts and everything ran smooth and slow and great. And at one of these shows, I found a group of guys that had a club, they had a layout, and at the show, I had bought one of the Triang princesses. And I saw this British layout up to the one guy who was actually originally from Leeds. And I said, can you tell me if this works? Because I just bought it. And he put it on the track and, yeah, it moved. He said, oh, you'll probably need to clean it up, whatever. So that was a sort of beginning. And I got involved with that group for a while. And started getting bits and pieces. But that group has since disbanded. An unfortunate experience. I was a project coordinator on sort of billion-dollar projects. And I had to go to our office in Vancouver to look after a project for a project manager that had to take some sick leave. Now, in the sort of midweek, we'd been getting ready to go to a show, and different people took different parts of the layout, and I took a box full of stuff with controllers and wiring in it. And I was at the office the next day or the day after, and I got this phone call. Can you go to Vancouver tonight? I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And so I called my wife and said, I have to go to Vancouver. Or wherever it was I had to go to. And, I don't think I had time to go home. I had to go straight from the airport. So, yeah, it wasn't Vancouver. It was maybe Montreal or someplace. Anyway, so I went directly to the airport, left the van, jumped on the plane. And then later, on the Saturday, I think it was, I got this email. Where the H are you? It totally slipped my mind that I had taken the controller and cables for the layout, and I got back Saturday night and went out there to the show on the Sunday. Oh, were they ever mad at me? Oof. That was a real downer. That's what happens, you're put under pressure to sort of jump and go, and that would happen a lot. I've been to Vancouver, been to Winnipeg, St. John's, Northern Quebec, Florida. I was in South Africa a couple of times, all for work. And you just have to go when you're asked, told to go. Yeah, that's the only way you learn and improve and add to. Because I don't need to watch a lot of YouTube, right? So I learn a lot there. And once again, I would bring up Boomer's dioramas, like just unbelievable work. Of course, he was in the TV film industry doing sets and props and all of that kind of stuff, making models. And I think learned most of what he knows there. And then through his interest in model railways, he just expanded it. And like a master at work when you watch him. Yeah, thanks, Alan. Not as good as yours. I mean, yours is fabulous. It's like very large, and I love the fact that you got the multiple levels in there. I'm quite restricted here. As I said, I was going to have 2 levels, but everything seemed to be piling up, and I was getting nowhere. So I decided, let's just focus on this level and get some track down and run a few trains at a time. So, I mean, that brings me up to another question that I have. So, I'm going to do walkabout here. So as you see, I've got a number of points that allow me to go in through the station. And so I can have 4 trains in there, 2 running and 2 sitting. And then come out, and here, this is where I enter sidings. So I can have 2 trains sitting there with 1 passing. And then in the other direction, I've got the same. One problem I run into is that I could have a train running through there and another one of these ones starts. Now, I suspect that is because I don't have any isolating fish plates or isolating joiners. And the reason I don't have that is I'm not completely familiar with the whole concept. Do I just stick them in there in those joints, or do I have to start adding additional wiring? Because when I built this, I thought, if I have to start putting point motors in, that's going to get complicated. So I didn't put the point motors in. And so this is all very basic. And let's see. And so I need to get a better handle on isolating the points to see if that will be of assistance. Well, Bill, when we moved into this house 26 years ago, I think it was brand new and a huge big basement. So I started making plans of I'll get a nice layout in here. But as time went by, my wife saying, "Oh no, I need a place for the kids to play down here." And she said, "I also need an office," because she worked for 3M. So we got an office built, basically put up some drywall, some framing. And then another time, we decided, oh, look, why don't we try and get the basement finished? So I drew up a little plan of what area would be what, get a TV room back there, and we'll put a bedroom behind that wall. And Joanne says, "Oh, well, I was thinking the TV room was a nice size for my layout." No. Why don't you put it in here? That should be big enough. So this is about 10 by 9. And behind that wall, that's no longer a bedroom. That's where I've got my computer and the cricket machine and my art stuff and whatever else. And so I never got the layout that I was hoping for. But I guess, if you were... I wouldn't use the loft here because A, it gets freezing cold here, and that would be an enormous job. I've added or had additional insulation added to the attic, but I never contemplated finishing it to the point where I go up there and do a layout, because it's pretty enormous up there. Anyway, I have to do with what I've got. What tricks do you use? What do you mean tricks? Yeah, Men in Sheds, Digger. That's what it is. Men in Sheds. James May, Men in Sheds. Okay, so here's Tom. You could put insulating joints in, but you'd have to add switches to enable the dead section you create. Yeah, Alan, I've seen your wiring. Oh, way beyond my pay rate, I'm afraid. Mm. Well, that'd be okay. You could put in underfloor heating. Yeah, well, that's it. You always get the option of Engage, but servicing them with failing eyesight, oh my. Yeah, so I guess I'll need to start looking at uh, the points. Um, I'm assuming what you're suggesting is, let me just see. So if I were to put insulating joints in there, I guess I put them in there. Um, I need a power switch um, to get a live line onto the other track. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. Clive, I use code 100. Okay, so I've got. Yeah, I'm just trying to get something working here. Yeah, see, 16 by 8 foot, that's a nice length. And the nice thing about having a layout that long, you can run long trains. And, you know, the Coronation Scot that I have, I've got 9 or 10 coaches there that just a little bit too big for this layout. Oh, they're Insel Frog. Okay, so just trying to get something moving here. Yeah. Anyway, we'll just have another look at this nice set. Now, I'm just thinking, Bill, that Hornby 00 Duchess, I doubt if I'll ever get around to doing anything with it. If you would be interested in it as a donation, I'll see about getting it shipped over to you. Just, you know, drop me a note and let me know. And yeah, here's another example of a Ringfield motor. It was spinning a bit, and what I discovered was that the small cog in there had fallen out, and so it was going nowhere fast, and that was an easy fix. Anyway, I'm not sure how long I've been on, but maybe it's time to get off of here. Yeah, it's Pico, Clive. Everyone is Pico. Yeah, Alan, you're right. You're never satisfied. Oh, I just noticed something here I want to show you. Now, maybe you can tell me what that's used for. Variable resistance. So I'm sure that's got something to do with the clipper that I've got that I don't use very often. So variable resistance, I'm sure that would be to control, well, the clipper controls the speed, but how does this come into play? Yeah, speed control digger, right? Well, thanks, Bernie. As I said, I like to try and bring different stuff into the spin, and maybe just before I go, I'll stick something else on for your entertainment. Okay, I just have to change a point here, and then we'll all right, so let's just see. There's the old triang track cleaner. Now, as I said, I think I've got another one of these locos in a drawer. Runs well, and that's cleaning the track as it goes. And of course, there's that switch on the top that you throw that to go to overhead power. Anyway, that passed a bit of time. That plug into a power source like your M&N should have a longer lead than plug it into the HM box. How many ins and outs? What's the back of it look like? There, 2 yellows, 1 red. Pretty clean. Yeah, okay, Bill, I can do that. No problem. Okay, Bill, thanks very much for dropping by. We'll catch up later. Bankman rolling stock. You know, I'm not really sure. I may have some that I've not really pulled out and said, oh, that's a Bankman. You know, I know I've got Lima, I've got Mainline, Triang, Hornby. I don't think I've got any Bankman locos. Oh, actually, I do. I've got the V1, V2, and it's a split chassis, and a wheel fell off on one side. Another repair job, and when I bought it, it looked brand new. I bought it from a dealer here. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that well, and it's been sitting in the box ever since. And I think Bill did a fix it on one of those same locos that I'll need to go back in and have a look at and see what can be done and shake it all about. Yeah, we'll do that too. Okay, Alan Reynolds, we'll catch you later in the loft. Okay, Clive, take care. Everybody else, take care. Stay safe, stay warm, and run trains. And we'll catch up next week. I'll dig around, see if we can find anything that is Bankman. Oh, actually, the Bankman that I've got is the Harry Potter sets, 2 of them unopened. And, you know, if I can find a buyer, I'll sell them. Anyway. So, okay, Tom, cheers for now. Thanks for coming by. And Bernie, all the best thinking about your procedure. Hope everything turns out good for you. And everybody else, as I say, thanks for dropping by, and we'll see you all next time here at Partickhill Station. Please remember, give me the big thumbs up. That'll do. And thanks to all the new subscribers that I've received recently. I'll try and get back to you all individually. Have a good evening. Bye for now. Matty Mapman, goodbye. See you later. Thanks, Digger. Okay, Joshua, thanks for dropping by. And Medway will catch up with you later. John, PW22, thanks for coming to Partickhill Station.